Welcome to Football with G's. This is my Super Bowl recap video. It went exactly like everyone said. Eagles will absolutely destroy them, right? Everybody said that. No, just kidding. I did pick the Eagles, though. Thank God. But so many things to talk about. Let's get into it. Make sure if you're not subscribed, you do so now, and enable alerts so you do not miss a video. The Cam Ward prospect video will be out tomorrow. Almost done with that. And then we'll talk about some other stuff around the NFL as well. So, the game started with the Chiefs deferring. So the Eagles get the ball. They have a 4th and short. And Jalen Hurts gets the matchup he wants. A.J. Brown one-on-one. Throws a deep ball. Hits it. Eagles are going to be inside the 20. Great start for the Eagles. And then they throw an offensive pass interference flag. And I'm thinking, and all of you are thinking, here we go again. The refs are going to help the Chiefs. They're going to make sure the Chiefs win. The call, I get why they threw it. I would not have thrown it. Mike Pereira, who was the official expert for Fox, agreed. He did kind of push him in the face. You're allowed to stiff arm by pushing in the face, but I think if he pushed more in the chest, it wouldn't have been called. But it was obvious he pushed him in the face a little bit. Kind of ticky-tack, the playoffs, let him play. I wouldn't have called it. So then the Eagles had to punt. So a little worried, but the officiating was bad. It always is. We'll talk more about that at the end of the video. So the Eagles get it right back. They kept getting stops. They go up 7-0. Get it back. Have to settle for a field goal. So it's 10-0 Eagles. The Chiefs just could not get anything going. And the play that changed the game, the MacGuffin, the play that changed the game was Patrick Mahomes is running right, tries to throw back across the field, and Cooper DeJean, I still do not know how to say his name. It's one or the other. It's got to be. So anyways, Cooper DeJean gets a pick six. Great play. He's a rookie second-round pick. If you don't know who he is, he was a projected top 15 pick in the draft based on his college film. But then he was injured and he could not work out. And he just kind of slowly, gradually, okay, he won't go top 20, but he'll still probably go first round. And the first round came and went, and he's still available. Then you think, okay, he's going to be one of the first 2 or 3 picks in the second round, and then he's still there at pick 40. Eagles move up, drafted him. What a pick. Like I said, he's a top 15 talent. In last year's draft, the top 15 was so talented, so loaded. So if you're a top 15 talent in last year's draft, you're a top 10 in most drafts. So they basically got the 2 best corners in the entire draft with their first 2 picks. Quinyon Mitchell was their first round pick and the other. Great move by the Eagles. Cooper DeJean had an unbelievable playoff. He had an unbelievable game. That made it 17-0. And when you're down 10-0, okay, you're still in the game. Once you're down 3 scores, you're not really in the game. You've got to get it back to 2. And they never did. They never did. And then the Chiefs get it back with less than 2 minutes to go, but they have time to at least go down and get a field goal, get some momentum. And what does Patrick Mahomes do? Throws another pick. Zach Bond, he's had an unbelievable year, one of the best free agent pickups. He's going to get paid by someone in free agency if it's not the Eagles. Picks it off, a really good interception, really tough catch. And the Eagles punch it in, and they're up 24-0 at halftime. Unbelievable first half for the Eagles. Patrick Mahomes was just awful in this game. That's the worst game I've seen him play in a long time, maybe ever. What's amazing about the Eagles defense was they did not blitz once. Now, once you get way ahead, you don't blitz. You just play back, play more zone. So, of course, they didn't blitz at all in the second half, but they got pressure, though. 6 sacks with their front 4. Vic Fangio deserves a lot of credit. He's defensive coordinator, but clearly the Eagles won in the trenches. Milton Williams had 2 sacks. Josh Sweat had 2.5. Those are good players, but they're not great players. But the Chiefs' offensive line has some huge weaknesses. If you take the offensive line and defensive line of both teams and say, who's better? For example, 5 offensive linemen, say there's 4 defensive linemen, okay? The Chiefs have the better center, the better right guard, and then Chris Jones is the only defensive lineman would start if he was on the Eagles. So the Eagles have 6 of the top 9 players on the lines, on the offensive line, defensive line. And it showed. They dominated the trenches. The Chiefs have a very good center, an elite center, Creed Humphrey. Trey Smith, their right guard, had a great year, but he was terrible in the postseason. He was terrible in the Super Bowl. But he's better if you just go by regular season. And like I said, Chris Jones. But every other spot, the Eagles were better. And really struggled. Jawan Taylor, in my last video, the preview, I had all these notes about all the offensive linemen. And I wish I had just talked about it and made a 20-minute video, because I had mentioned how Jawan Taylor has struggled this year and how Josh Sweat might be able to beat him. So what does this tell you? The Eagles built an elite defensive line. They built an elite offensive line. They won the Super Bowl. They dominated the Super Bowl. They dominated Washington last week in the trenches on both lines. Won by a lot in those games. Howie Roseman, the GM of the Eagles, has done an outstanding job. He has built 2 unbelievable lines on both sides of the ball. He's won 2 Super Bowls now. It's not a fluke anymore. Anyone can just get hot and maybe win one. But he's now won 2 Super Bowls as general manager. The offensive line has 4 first and second round picks. The left tackle, Maliata, he was an Australian rugby player, so he's the 7th round pick, never played football before. But the other 2 spots, 2 first rounders, 2 second rounders. Defensive line, both defensive tackles, first rounders. Edge rusher Nolan Smith, first rounder. Did you notice a pattern? Draft linemen early. Build in the trenches. That's how they won. Plus, Jalen Hurts played really well. You know, a little stretch in there late first, early second quarter where he didn't play well, threw a real dumb pick. Missed a few passes, but other than that, he played really well. He was the MVP. I don't know. There were some other people that maybe should have won, but quarterback's going to win. If the quarterback has a good game, they're going to win the MVP almost every single time. Devontae Smith had a good game against Jalen Watson. If you watched my preview video, I mentioned that matchup. They should take advantage of it. They listened to me, and they did. That long touchdown on a one-play drive, it was 27-6, I believe. The Chiefs had finally gotten a touchdown. It was 27-0 third quarter, and they got a touchdown. So they had some momentum, and they needed to get a stop. In the first play, Devontae Smith beats Jalen Watson for a touchdown, and that was pretty much it. There was no way the Chiefs were going to score 34 points. Some other things to mention. Jake Elliott, the kicker of the Eagles, had been inconsistent, had struggled in the postseason. What a great game. He had an outstanding game kicking. As far as the commercials goes, I maybe watched half of them. The only one that I saw that was kind of funny was the Matt Damon, David Beckham one for Stella Artois. Most of them were pretty stupid, in my opinion. They always hype the commercials. Most of them are just terrible. The halftime show, I just muted. I don't know that guy's music, so I just muted it. Took some notes, ate some food. That's what I did at halftime. One of the funniest moments was on X. It just started trending all of a sudden. They showed Taylor Swift on the Jumbotron at the stadium, and she got booed. Not only did she get booed, she couldn't believe she got booed. You could read her lips. What is going on? She is so used to people just adoring her at her concerts, thinking she's the greatest. These celebrities live in this bubble where they think they know better than everyone. They think that everyone loves them. They really have no idea what real life is. And she is one of those celebrities. That is hilarious. She has no idea how much people are so tired of her. Taylor Swift fatigue is real. But some people were on X were calling this the worst Super Bowl ever because of the blowout. No way. Tampa Bay 2020 beat the Chiefs 31-9. That one was even worse than this. That's funny. Tom Brady beat Mahomes, and then he called this game. So if Tom Brady doesn't play against Mahomes or call the game, then Mahomes wins the Super Bowl. If Tom Brady's involved, he does not win, apparently. No, I think the worst Super Bowl I've ever seen was the Super Bowl 53. New England beat the Rams 13-3. That was so boring. The Patriots dominated the game, but 13-3, there was not even any scoring. That was terrible. So Xavier Worthy did have a very good game for the Chiefs. 8 catches, 157, 2 touchdowns. Some of that was garbage time, but He was their first round pick receiver. He started slow. He really came on into the year and had a great playoff. He is so fast. He's going to have a great career. He's going to be a deep threat for Mahomes for years to come. So the referees did a poor job. They always do. Chiefs got some calls. Eagles got some calls. Obviously Patrick Mahomes was hit in the head, should have been called. It wouldn't have mattered. They were so far behind. But there are people out there in the media and just fans in general on X saying, this proves that the Chiefs don't get help from the refs because the Eagles blew them out. It's so ridiculously stupid. The Eagles dominated from the beginning. You cannot influence a game where one team dominates. Doesn't matter who the refs are. Because you would have to basically call a penalty on the Eagles every play, which you can't. The Chiefs games that are close, that come down to a play here, play there, the Chiefs seem to always get calls in those games. The refs have no control over a game that's 40-6 in the fourth quarter. So this doesn't prove anything. So all those idiots out there saying this proves that the refs have never helped the Chiefs, that's just so insanely idiotic. It's low IQ and it's stupid. Okay? They got help against the Texans. They got help against the Bills. A couple of years ago, that Vikings game, which was insane. They got help in those games. Whether you think they fixed it on purpose or just poor officiating, that's up to you to decide. There's a 5-minute video of all the poor spots they gave the Bills in the AFC title game. So this proves absolutely nothing. And last year's Super Bowl, like I said in my preview video, was called fairly as well. It was poorly officiated, but it was called fairly. You cannot have a Super Bowl where it's officiated one-sided. So I knew it wouldn't happen in the Super Bowl. The Chiefs are on their own in the Super Bowl, but we can help you get there. That's what I think. So JJ Watt's tweet, I'm not even going to link it. You can look it up. It was insanely stupid. Maybe he got hit on the head too many times when he played. So anyway, Cam Ward video. It's coming. I'm going to have a video around the league going over, Aaron Rodgers and Deebo Samuel, a few other odds and ends. Make sure you're subscribed, turn on notifications, like this video, share this so we can grow the channel. I'm going to link a couple videos. Make sure you check these out if you haven't. There will be in boxes right here. And thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in the next video.